overflowing.
Or those banana pancakes.
That's it. They're so yummy. All right, I'm
Yummy.
gonna mute.
Okay, well, so with that said, with getting in front of, getting in front of 40 people, we know that that's our system. I will say this, that my daily method for success has always been 5 and 5. I reach out to 5 new and I follow up to 5, with 5. And I've done that consistently every single day. I did that every single day for 9 months, and I've been doing it 5 days a week. Whatever the difference between a year and a half and 9 months is. So anyway, but what I've changed up a little bit this month is, I've challenged myself to do more on social media, just because I've never really built my business with social media. Like, that's just always the icing on the cake. But what I've done this time is that I'm just doing these stories, and just anyone who watches the stories all the way through, I'm reaching out to people who are following that and just asking them if anyone's ever talked to them about the 30-day, which is, that verbiage is in our boards. So I'm just using straight up that verbiage is in our boards. And it's been pretty nice, because I'm connecting with people that I wouldn't normally connect with, even if maybe I've reached out to them about just checking out Arbonne in the past. And it's just kind of interesting to see. So I'd say now I'm reaching out to probably like, let's say I reach out to 20, like 5 are follow-ups and like 15, this is on average a day. I would say that I'm getting about 4 to respond. And then, so out of 20, I get 4 to respond. And then I probably like get 2 who I'm in ongoing conversations with, and 1 to order, which doesn't sound great. But imagine if I'm doing that every day, that's 30 orders of the 30-day. That's pretty awesome, So again, so I would love to hear from all of y'all, like just kind of what it is that you're doing, what's working for you, and then where your struggles might be, so we can all help each other. Not everyone at once. Is anyone going to talk, or is it just going to be me and Polly having a conversation?
I'll go. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not just start us off? I know for me, a big thing that's been giving me issues is just the consistency. I've been also getting back to work with newborn stuff, so I'm trying not to use that as an excuse, but just being consistent has been a big thing for me. But I know, like, I'll do like 10 reach outs at a time, and most of the time, similarly, I'll get like maybe 1 or 2 responses, and then like 1 consistent conversation. But pretty much everyone is telling me no, they don't know anyone, or no, they're not interested. And so it's a little bit discouraging, but that's kind of like where I'm at. And I'm mostly contacting people about the 30 days specifically. I haven't been asking them about the one-on-ones and that kind of thing.
So one thing, Carrie, when you say that you're like, what the issue is like consistency, like you're saying that or the thing you're focusing on, like that you're able to be consistent, or that you're struggling to be, like you're not being consistent, or
I'm not being consistent. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I'll do like 10 reach outs one day, and I'll take 2 days off, and then I'll do 10 reach outs another day. And then it's just not consistent.
Okay. Y'all, and I know that I've said this since I've started Arbonne, like I'm like consistency is the only reason why I've got a thriving business. Honestly, like that is it. And then lately I've been hearing a lot of trainers talk about consistency. I mean, like consistency is like, literally, I feel like I'm like, I might not be the best at this. I might not be the best at this, might not be the best at this, but one thing I can do is I can do this every day,? And so like, that should be inspiring for everyone, because everyone can be consistent, because you just have to decide that you're going to be consistent. And I know we can all say, like, and I know you can give yourself grace from going back to work and like having a baby and all of that. But like, I mean, honestly, like, welcome to the club. Like, you're going to always have something, and if it's not having a baby this time, it's going to be sending your baby off to school, or your kid being sick, or, like your work being crazy. Like, there's always going to be something. And so what I always tell people is, like, what I found helpful, and I know y'all have heard this before, but I always had one of these. Like, I carried a little notebook with me, and every night before I went to bed, I would write down 3 things I had to do for my business if the world were blowing up. Like, literally, I would picture in my head, if every kid in my house was throwing up and my husband couldn't help, and like, what could I do for my business? And I mean, even if that meant locking myself in a bathroom and doing it, like I would get it done. And so now I think it's so simple because it's so clear, because those 3 things might have been like, reach out to so-and-so about booking something, you know, putting an order in. Like now it's like 5 things that you must do for your business is like, reach out to 5 new people and then follow up with 5 people. Like, it's almost like that's already pre-decided, like if you want to have a rocking business. And so I guess figure out with what was hard for me before, and like what I think is the most time consuming, Carrie, is like figuring out like, who am I going to reach out to? Because like that takes brain power, you know? And so like, that's why, and we can work on this later, but like, I think like I'd gotten Polly hooked on this a while back, where like, you're literally going through your Facebook list and going in order. Like for me right now, my boss is who's ever watching my stories all the way through, like that's my list. And so, they're people that I know, they're people that I probably reached out to before. It's not like I have this, like a social media following of people I don't know, like they're all my friends, like they all know me. So, so it's just like having that boss of like, I get, does that make sense? Like, I don't have to overthink it. I literally just like, so the world could be blowing up around me, but like I sit down and I'm able to pull up my list and pick back up from where I left off. Does that make sense? And so like that, like you might find some like relief in that, I guess, because like that's one less thing to have to think about. Does that make sense? It's almost like the same theory of like, you know how they'll say like, pick out your clothes the night before, because that's one less decision you have to make in the morning, you know, or meal planned that week, because like it's just like, it's that kind of concept of that it's one less decision that you have to make, but it's like, you're in a period of time of transition and busyness and like being like you know, you're in demand by everyone. And so it's kind of like, that's the thing that you can do, I think, to help with the consistency, because it won't be just another thing to think about. What do y'all think? Like, what are some tricks that people have been using who've been like, who've been making consistency like a part of what they do?
I was just going to say one quick thing about that is when you're not consistent, because I've been not consistent in my business and then I've been consistent in my business. And when you're not, the problem is like Andrea was giving you some numbers, like, okay, if I reached out to 20, then I got however many answered. And, you know, and I find that's about right as well lately for this, but you don't, you know, it's an average. So like yesterday I did, because I'm doing the same thing, like watching people who are watching my stories right now and reaching out to those people, just making sure, just because of timing, right? It's January, 30 day. And so I did like 20 reach outs yesterday, just really quick. It didn't take long at all to just reach out to 20 people who followed my story. And then I did 20 today. Well, yesterday I got 0 responses, but today I got like 5. So if I wasn't consistent, then yesterday I would have thought, forget it. This sucks, you know, but then it's just that consistency, because it's an average over time. And then you're going to find, well, and that's the whole thing about the momentum, because as you're going, you know, it's like you're just priming the pump, because some people that you reached out to last month are going to then all of a sudden answer and be like, oh my gosh, I never saw this message. Right. And so you just have to trust the system. Like Andrea said, whatever, you know, Facebook list is your boss. You're, you know, just your daily method of success. That's your boss. That's what you do. And you don't, and she used to tell me all the time, don't attach myself to the outcome, and it's just like working out, you know, we were talking about working out earlier. Like if you work out one day and then you stop and then you work out another day and then you stop, and 1 day a week, 2 days a week, you're not going to see results. But if you work out a little bit every day, if you do it consistently, all of a sudden one day you're gonna be like, whoa, where did that bicep come from? You know? So that's my 2 cents on being consistent.
And
I just
I
had a
will
quick-
say, as the queen of being inconsistent, hello, I've been consistent for, I mean, since the last half of last year, since pretty much July. So what helped me was when I, especially doing like the Facebook list or your Instagram list, I went ahead and wrote all of them out. especially when I was a new mom, because I just put all of them, like 5 each day, in my journal in the 90-day. Yes, just because you didn't see that new name every day and get like scared. You didn't have to scroll through and through and through on your Facebook and find that person. Like, you just did it. So like, even before bed, like, I would write all the names down. Just, I didn't have an excuse. Like, I didn't have my baby. My husband was asleep. It was just me. So I just wrote all those down. And that really helped me to, like, for some reason, not be scared. Like, see their face on there and be like, oh God, no, I can't. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't mess with them. I just did it and just like bit the bullet. So
that's a great idea. Carrie, that might be
me a lot.
super helpful for you, is like pre-filling this out every Sunday night or whenever like a good time is for you. Because just like I was saying, like, if you don't have to think about it, it's just like the whole meal prepping day, like what Amber's doing. Like, it just takes one more thing. Because to me, if I, like, before I would do my method of success that way, like, I would literally walk into my office and be like, so what am, like, you know, it would really happen that I would drop my kids off at school, or my husband would. So like, I would like clean up the kitchen, you know, I'd already worked out, like I did my thing, and I'm like, I'm ready for my Arbonne day. And I'd walk in my office and be like, what am I going to do today? You know, do I call someone about some product? Do I book a party? Do I coach my team? Like, it was just so like willy-nilly, unless I had that list of like the 3 things I had to do, or the 5 and 5. But now I think it's so simple, just knowing, reach out to 5 new, follow up with 5, and then close the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, do more if you want to go faster. But if like you want to have like a consistent pace, like, just be like, done with my Arbonne business today, you know. And that's so like empowering, because it's like you're killing it doing that, because it's like you're putting it out there, and then you know, you can't control if they're going to respond or not, you know. I saw that there was a question, was it Christiana that had, are you doing Instagram story reach outs because you're done with it? Yeah, I've been done with my Facebook list for a while, but what I found was I went back to it, and there were a lot of people in there that I guess are new or something, because like I hadn't, like, I'll look at messages and I hadn't reached out to them. So I was doing that. The only reason why I'm doing the Instagram story today was because I'm being accountable to y'all, my team, as doing more. I was on a call and just announced it, that I was gonna, you know, that's something that I feel like is holding me back, that I'm just, again, like I think I've told a couple people this week, I mean, I can go on camera and talk all day long. I mean, that is my background. I can do it. That is easy to me. When I'm talking about something else, I cannot be personal and talk about myself to my peers. I just can't. Like, that is very hard for me to do. And I recognize that, you know, so I'm like, well, that's holding me back. Like, I mean, that's just another like vehicle that I can use to connect with people. And it's funny that like, you know, like when I'm doing these things, I automatically have like 3 people in my mind who are talking bad about me when I do these. And I'm just like, rip the Band-Aid off, do it, whatever, it's out there, they're watching it. And I'm just like, whatever, because guess what? They are not sending my kids to school. So, you know, and it is like, it is so empowering, because it's been fun. Like, people are like, this is so awesome. Thank you. This is so funny, y'all. Edda's friends said to Edda, like 3 of them, like, watch my stories. They're like, your mom's stories are the highlight of my day. And so we were laughing about it. And I said, Edda, watch you come home from school one day. And like, I'm like, watch out, Edda, I'm giving a presentation to your friends. So anyway, it's just been fun. Like, it's just been something different. And so because of that, it wasn't like I had that in my mind ahead of time. I was like, well, I'm doing these stories. I would watch, because I was looking for those 3 like haters, you know, and like I was looking at them and I'm like, wow, people are watching the whole way through, you know. And then I was noticing like a pattern. I was like, well, I might as well reach out to these people. And then I'm like, wow, this is motivation for me to do a story every day. Because it's like giving me you know, like I'm giving them some value. And then I just reach out to them, you know. And so again, and I've had people I've reached out to who don't answer. Like this one girl from high school, I thought it was so weird. Reached out, then I followed up with her again. And then like 5 days later, she messaged me and said, sure, send me some info. I thought that was so weird. So it's like, you just never know. But anyway, I just do better if I have a list or like a rhythm, like something like to follow, because otherwise, like, I just won't be focused on that portion of my business, if that makes sense.
Well, with me, I can tell you kick my butt. Like, Blanca, wake up. So to go back in the business. Well, I don't know if you all don't know, but I was very sick. So December was kind of bad for me. I got a lot of personal issues, and then I got COVID, but the COVID really hit me really, really bad. I mean, for 2 weeks, but I made it. So, and then Andrea pulled me from the ground and said, "Come on, you gotta do this." And then, for taking so ugly medication, when I was very, very sick, my stomach was like horrible with cramps. I mean, I didn't want to eat anything, and totally messed up. So I was thinking, I couldn't make it through the January 3rd with the 30 days, but I want to start the second week. So I did it. So, and making or doing the 30 days is kind of, I got super excited again for the way I feel. I'm still congested, super tired. The headaches still come and goes. It's horrible, but I think slowly I'm cleaning my body again. And at the same time, I'm start reaching out people, and my consistency, like you guys are talking, is a key, because I was not, this is our business, right? If we don't open the business, it's not going to happen, because nobody's going to knock at the door and say, "Hey, Blanca, talk to me about our bond," right? So we got to go and look. And the social media is awesome. I know a lot of you don't want to do it. Even you, Andrea, said, "No, I don't want to do much social media," but I think it works because, and especially the stories, because when you post something, you got like 20 likes, I think the most that I have, even if I have to be in bikini to have 60. Otherwise, I don't have those many likes. But the stories, my God, I see like 120, 200 people. I say, "Oh my God, they don't like me, but they're watching me." So I'm doing that. I'm reaching out to these people. And every day I'm doing 10, sometimes 15, and 5 follow-ups. And they responded to me, "Hey, or the other day I said, talk to me about those shakes. It looks so yummy." Not even I asked that person about our bond or anything like that, but just for seeing those yummy shakes or talk to me about it. So, so far, I haven't had nobody like I want to do the 30 days, because I'm focused on 30 days since I'm a trainer. And this is right now my key. However, they're answering me, and I'm keeping a conversation because they're, asking for more information. So like this, at least it's a step for me, to start building the business that way. Even if, sales hasn't happened yet, but it's okay. I'm still, proactive. And this is what I want to do. And slowly and steady and proactive.
And you just brought up an interesting point too, Blanca, that I had a training call with someone this week. It was Jean. She won't care that I share this. She was talking about, like, she reached out to this person and she's like, "Well, the person says she's the person replied back to her and said, 'Well, I'm with another company, blah, 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 blah.'" And Jean's like, "How should I respond?" And I'm like, I was like, "Did you respond?" And she's like, "I just said, 'Oh, I didn't know that, blah, blah, blah.'" I'm like, okay, respond back and be like, "Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. How long have you been with them?" Because like the whole point is that it's not one and done. You start a conversation and are they yes or no, 30 day, or yes or no, join my business. It's back and forth, And so I was like,
Yeah.
You're like, "That's awesome. We should get together. I would love to hear about yours. I would love to show you mine." Like it's just an opening. And that's all these are when we do the stories. It's not the stories that's growing your business. It's you reaching out because of the stories that's growing your business. I also want to be clear about that, because like I know a lot of people who post a lot of stuff on social media and their business is not growing. You have to like, if you do that, you have to be like, you're using that as your method, like to then reach out to the person specifically. But then once you reach out to them, you just want to start a back and forth. It doesn't have to be a yes or no. And just like what you're saying, Blanca, you might not have anyone that joined the 30-day just yet, like in the week that you've done it to start tomorrow, but that's okay because you're starting a relationship with people and people are curious and they're asking questions and it's multiple exposure. So you're doing the right thing. And then that's when you attach yourself to the activity and not the outcome, you know? And again, you trainers, this is like, just like what Paulie said, you trainers out there and you people who have just had babies, like I would think about this all the time after I had a baby. And then when I started my Arbonne business, I remember like, I was not one of those people who walked out of the hospital in my jeans. In fact, my jeans were put away. And so I would like work out. And I remember specifically my brother was getting married. And I was not like, I had Edda. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to fit into the bridesmaid's dress that I ordered, you know? But like the thing is that if every week, even like, let's just give like that deadline, like later, not every day, but every week I would go back and try my jeans on, I'd be frustrated, you know, like I wouldn't see a difference. But if I worked out and ate right and did everything right, at the end of like a month, I'd be closer, or the end of 3 months, I'd be in them and looking even better than before, you know? So like, that's the same thing. I always think about that when I think about this business. It's like, don't measure it like every day, like measure it after 90 days, like do it for 90 days and then tell me that it's not working, you know?
90 days consistently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So I'd actually like to chime in on that. That has to go with consistency and training. So I am new to this. I haven't had anybody sign up. I've yet to have a reach out call, which I'm going to do here soon. I've been a trainer for many years and a nutritionist as well. I myself come from a huge background. So less than 5 years ago, I was up over 400 pounds. And within 2 years, I dropped more than my body weight. I went from well over 400 all the way down to 182, and then slowly started building up after that. Majority of my clients are not new people that walk into the gym. They're people that I've known and built relationships over a long period of time. And I tell them knowledge is free. If you ever want to come, you can talk to me. And I sit down. I basically give away my training, my nutrition, my advice first, and try to work with them and build relationships. And then it comes to me on the back end. And usually it's consistency. But most of the time it's people that have seen me working, staying consistent, working with people. And after a year or 2 years or 3 years, they say, wow, like you've done an amazing job. I want to try to work with you. And then comes on the back end. And it's just all about being consistent and working with people that has actually led me to the progress, which is like where I met Christiana, which I call her True. And then she actually led me to Polly right there as well, because she was referred to me from the other one. And then I actually got Christiana from another mom that I used to work with, and her name is Amy. And I started out with
who was on my team for a little bit.
See, and I worked with her because she had children. So she didn't even come in to work out with me. She came in to bring her daughter to work out with me. And I started working with kids because I trained kids in all ages, which led me to one, which led me to the other, which led me to the other one.
Right.
I've started at one gym, and then I branched out to 2 gyms, and then 4 gyms. And then here this last year, I'm actually a teacher at the college. So now I'm a college athletic trainer for the local college here, and not just centralized at one gym or a home gym or anything like that as well.
Awesome.
That's such good points, Sean. It's exactly that. It's exactly that, you know, and when we can add value to people and, you know, offer recipes, offer whatever, right? And they see that you're genuine and you really want to help people get healthier, because that really is what we do with Arbonne, or wealthier, or both. You know, then, yeah, and they're watching you. I mean, I this week talked to a guy who I went to high school with, who I met on the set of a movie because I was doing an extra role like 3 years ago before COVID. and we talked and back and forth. And then he just wasn't ready, but he kept watching and now he's ready. And so, you know, the problem comes is when you talk to somebody that's not ready, they haven't had enough exposure or whatever, and then you just stop because you're upset and you don't keep talking to more people, because it's just like, you just gotta, you gotta trust the process, you know?
Yeah.
So such great points. So true, Christiana. Power and referral, follow-up, and consistency.
For sure. And I mean, I think the great thing about consistency is all you have to do is decide to be consistent. Like, no one's going to motivate you. Like, you got to motivate yourself to do it. And you just have to decide, do I want this to work? Okay, well, this is a simple way to do it. Just like, think of like the tortoise and the hare, and, you know, you're going to be the tortoise, and like, but you're going to like get there faster, you know, just by being consistent, and figure out what it is that you can do every day. Like, I mean, I know that Blanca, like the other night, you're like, I'm still working, I'm reaching out. And I'm like, just do your 10 and call it a day. You know, like, I mean, like that's, and it's great. If
It's
you want to
because
do
I
more.
want it. It's not because like,
I know.
I feel like a torture. It's like when I'm getting into, it's just, I close, you know, the door, and it just, I'm focused and see, oh, what else? And then sometimes it started, you know, just sending, and everybody said, I just changed it a little bit, the messages and everything. So
And I mean, and
I
that's
get excited.
great. And that's great. And I mean, do more when you want to do more. But I guess my point is, don't like do more and then you get burned out. And then like the next day you don't want to do anything, you know, because like it's so much better to be like, just like figure out what you can do. And I mean, I know that situation was different because I know you were excited because you're like, I'm still going, you know, which was awesome.
And after for a month being out, imagine.
Yeah, I know.
I'm catching up.
Exactly. It's like you're catching up on a lot of it. And I mean, it's just, and if y'all, I know I sent over the weekend, because I was listening to it in the shower, I actually sent it to y'all when I was in the shower, that video of the how to earn the trip. And usually those trainings, I'll be honest, I don't really love them because I'm always like, duh, I can read the numbers and then figure out how to earn the trip. Thanks. But I like these because like I like different people in there, like reminded me of different people on our team where they had a similar journey or something. And so I really liked hearing, like they had 3 different people talking about like how like they had gone from never earning a trip to earning a trip and like what they just paid attention to. And the interesting thing was that's what they talked about. They're like, just be consistent, you know, and it's so true. As if like, it's amazing to me. It just seems powerful because it's something that anyone can do, you know, it's like, it's the slight edge.
Speaking of the trip, we had that tracker for the last one that was like the Arbonne Shaker Cup. Do we have that? Where can we find that again?
You know what? I think it's better to just use the tracker on the computer that Arbonne's tracking your numbers. I mean, I do. Like, I mean, I'm sure someone can make one up, you know, but they'll have to change the numbers and all that. But like, y'all know that it's free to register for this trip. So there's no reason why everyone on this call shouldn't be registered for this trip, because then it's going to be tracking you and you can like see your progress and see like what you need to be doing. Which it's, again, listen to that call if y'all haven't had a chance. If I didn't send it to you, it's in under the Saturday skills training. I think that's pinned at the top of our Facebook page. But it's a call, it's a recent call that they did, but it really is inspiring that, I mean, anyone, it is fair game for anyone to earn that trip, you know. And that's what I love about it, is that it really is like everyone has an equal chance to do it. And if you're going to an in-person or a virtual event, you get what, 100 points for that, or 50 points or something?
100.
100?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I saw that and I was like, awesome.
I want to go.
Yes, I mean, here's the thing. I want all of y'all to go. I mean, I love Polly and all, but we were like bosom buddies on these trips all the time. Like we want to like mix it up.
We're tired of each other, basically. No, I'm kidding.
We're an old married couple.
You guys, there's really nothing, I know we are. There's really nothing like, we've talked about it before, but there's nothing like going on an Arbonne trip. I mean, Gabby knows, Yeah, there she is. I'm like, where's Gabby? There she is. It's just there's nothing like it. The energy. I mean, it's all about that, right? Just the good energy and the mindset that you're going to get from it. Incredible. Like you'll be a lifer because you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, where else am I? For me personally, I've never been in a job where they gave me a trip every year or 2 trips. Now we get 2 if we do the work. And once you do it one time, it's that Roger Bannister thing, right, Andrea? Like you break the whatever, and now you're like, oh, I've got it. I can do this. And then you just keep earning them, which is amazing. So I think we should have a goal of Punta Cana of at least 20 as a team going. That's my vision, is 20
That'd be
of us
awesome.
should be going on that trip.
That call talks about like if you were to do, like, she breaks it down to the numbers to really like basically what you'd have to be doing on your own. And then, but that would get you to district if you're not a district, like, so you get a bunch of points for that, or you'd be promoting someone to district, or you'd be getting to area. I mean, like, that's the amazing thing about it is like what it's going to do for your business. Like I've always said, like, I'm like, Arbonne's like tricking us to do our business right by giving us these trips. But it's so true. It's like, you're like, dang it, they did it again. They tricked me into doing this business right. But it's awesome because it's amazing, like what happens, from your business. And y'all, I will say again, like, please don't think like I'm bragging on myself, because I'm not. I'm like still in total shock at the every day that I'm doing something. It is not amazing, y'all. Like it is so uninteresting. Like, and it is like, it's not like, wow, today this happened. It's like, oh, I had a phone call. I reached out to some people. A bunch of people said no. One person said yes. Like, it's just like that day in and day out, falling in love with the mundane. But like over time, with what it's done to my business, like when I look at like my consultant numbers, my district numbers, like all those numbers that are closer to me, it blows my mind that I'm like, wow, like I didn't notice this was happening over the time, like, in the moment. But like, that's where I think that consistency is so great, because it forces you to just fall in love with the mundane, attach yourself to the activity, not the outcome. Like, just be like, well, Andrea said, if I do 5 and 5, like it's going to happen, whatever, I'll just trust her, and you do it just because. And then like after 90 days, then look at your business and be like, wow, like this is amazing, And so like, I think that like, to me, that's so inspiring, is that it's in our control, because it really, and I know we hear this all the time, it starts with a decision. And, I always would think like, well, I mean, yeah, I've decided to do this. Like I've decided to go nation. I've decided, but like with consistency, it truly just starts with not this like decision, with like this decision, like I'm going to be consistent, period, and it's like, if I haven't done my 5 and 5 and Atticus is queuing up a movie, nope, sorry, I got to do my 5 and 5, then I'll be out there. And I mean, that's happened so many times, y'all. But like, that's the thing, is what I'm talking about, is being relentless about your consistency, and then just being amazed by what, the results it can produce. Yeah. What she said.
What she said. I'll have what she's having. This is awesome.
I know. Anyone else? Because I love hearing from y'all and just knowing like kind of like what, what is a struggle? What, what's working? Like something new that you're trying that is, like seems to be great.
So just in the past, like, I don't know, a couple weeks, probably since the new year, I've been very focused on sharing product rather than sharing, like the opportunity when I'm doing my reach outs. And I mean, the amount of responses and just like conversations that are starting are really high. I mean, I'm probably getting, I don't know, like at least 20, 25 conversations going out of 50. Like just focusing on like leading with product, leading with 30-day, or leading with just like, I'm doing this challenge, I'm focusing on health. Do you want more info? So that's been super cool, and just something that I don't know, I never really thought about making that shift, but I think with the new year, a lot of people are looking for that. So that's been really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I always, I had this conversation with someone else this week. I think it was Caroline. Caroline, was that you that we talked about this? Like basically like, even though you're in your mind, you're leading with a business, like you want, like your goal is like, imagine your tracker and you're checking things off. You want to share that one sheeter, but it might be in the middle of their 30 day. You know, like the guy that I had over today that I was giving out like stuff for his 30 day because he just ordered on Friday. You know, like I like in my mind, I know I want him on my team, you know, but like I'm not like, you know, I'm like it's a relationship. Like I'm, you know, like we're doing the dance, you know, I'm giving him product, he's going to get his, he's going to start seeing results, he's going to get excited, he's going to start telling people, and boom, I'm going to go in and mention the business and, you know, give him the one sheeter presentation. So, I mean, I think that that's perfect, Christiana, because it's just, you're like, nothing has changed. It's just that like your bait for your fishing, like you put a fish stick on it instead of a dollar bill, you know?
Well, we're at 8:13. What do you
Ooh,
think?
sorry guys, we went over.
We should probably let everybody get back to their evening.
All right. Well, everyone have a great week, and definitely like send us some ideas of just training topics you want. Check out the website, y'all, because it is like becoming super user friendly and just streamlined, and just I'd love to know like kind of everyone's thoughts if some things need to be tweaked or changed, just because it's like I'm like tunnel vision in it. So like I'd love to hear like what y'all think about it, and if there's, you know, just tweaks. But yeah, but definitely like access that, use that. And if you need to get your s'more done, don't wait for yourself to have that video done. Like that's not what's important. Your contact information at the bottom is, and like then you can send that out when people are like, give me some more information, you know. And then don't forget like boards, like we've got everything you need in there.
Oh, and I'm going to be working a little bit on boards after we get this last couple of weeks done on the 30 day, just to kind of streamline it a little bit, you know, just kind of make it a little bit more user friendly. So just FYI.
No, get excited, because these tools, like seriously, like it's going to be that you're like, just like do, and like stuff is just going out and you're like spending like 5 minutes on reach outs. So that's exciting. All right. Y'all have a great night.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody. Bye guys. Have a
It's
good night.
lovely to meet everybody.
Good to
Thank
meet
you.
you, Sean, in person.
Nice
Good
to
see
meet you too.
Sean.
I know, right?